ABCD is African Blockchain Center for Developers. We actually started ABCD as an offspring of PoA. So ABCD seeks out to reach out to the pool of talents we have here in Africa of developers, and we want to give them the tools and the opportunity to actually build on the blockchain and learn these languages so they can be empowered to actually build solutions that are based on the blockchain for Africa. So we don't just want to talk about blockchain technology and what what opportunity it presents for Africa and what it can solve. We want to empower these people to actually build this solution, and that's why we created ABCD.
So it's an interesting idea, because as you say, if I will understand, the idea at the beginning was like, okay, we have ideas, but we don't necessarily have the people to develop it, right? So like the idea is to find the right developers to develop idea, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And can you tell us a bit about what is the structure? What is in your mind about the structure? How you're gonna organize the developers and stuff? That would be interesting.
So basically, we actually search for these talents. We do a survey and we interview these developers and and we determine which ones we can actually incubate, so to say, within our center for a period of time, and give them this access to these tools and also these training materials for them to learn to code on and write smart contracts. So for right now, we have a set of junior devs, and we're still actively looking at for some senior devs to incubate within our structure, which are going to learn things like Haskell and play around with Pluto and Malo. So for right now, we have our junior devs. We partner with Gimba Labs, and our junior devs is actively learning alongside Gimba Labs. We have James over there that facilitates that activity. And on the communication side, we stay connected with IOG Ethiopia, so we are aligned with them. And we also have you, Gwendol, in the team that deals with communications as well. So the whole structure is built in such a way that we can reach out to the right people and make sure we're bringing the right resources to them. And we will leverage on whatever opportunity we have within our sphere of contact.
Okay, that's pretty clear. Can you explain us a bit, like, because the idea for now is having those developers and help them to get trained to learn new things, because actually most of them already have like a solid IT and coding experience, but they're not necessarily familiar with the tools that would be necessary for blockchain development. So you mentioned Gimba Lab. Can you tell us a bit more about what is happening with Gimba Labs and with the devs at ABCD?
Sure. So Gimba Lab was part of the Fund 2 Catalyst Fund, and they were part of the winners. We have James over there. James is actually a friend of ABCD. So what happens is they follow a tailored curriculum that's designed by Gimba Labs. And this allows for developers that are not quite conversant or acquainted with blockchain technology, especially Cardano. It's designed in such a way it makes it easier for them to get acquainted with it. So the curriculum is actually tailored specifically for these kinds of developers that aren't developing yet on the blockchain.
Okay. That's interesting. And actually what I like to see in this kind of thing is like the connection that are already existing between different projects amongst Cardano. I think it's really, really important to say that, because as you say, like Gimba Lab was founded in Fund 2, if I'm correct, as you said, and like now they bring this fund not just for themselves, but they allow people within the community to benefit from it, which is something really, right, really important. And so, like, in terms of what you brings to the developers. Can you tell us, sorry, a bit more about like the infrastructure and what you have now and what you would like to create? Because it's one of the things that you put in the catalyst proposal for Fund 3. So I think it would be interesting to detail a bit more what you have in mind.
Okay, so we actually had proposed um, our um, our project on Fund 2, but unfortunately we were not funded. But we kept going because we really want to get this done. So currently we are running on the funds from PoA stake pool. So 80% of our rewards from PoA is that goes to our activities down here in Nigeria to facilitate the activities within the space. So we have a cohort of developers, mostly female devs, and we take care of the power. We don't really have a lot of electricity here, so we run mostly on generator, and then we take care of the internet as well, and also sustaining the devs within the space, and paying them a little bit of salary to keep them going. So, but we still put up a proposal for Fund 3 because we would like to expand that. Thankfully, we've had the opportunity over these few months to study which strategy to actually go about things. So we have knowledge on how to expand now, and we were able to do that because we've done this we're able to get that knowledge because we've actually implemented this over a couple of months now. So we are confident that we'll be able to scale that up if the community actually votes for us, so we can get more developers and have them, give them access to these resources and library information that we have.
That's clear actually. Like, so the fund would be used for so like currently the first cohort is leaving into brackets with like the help of Proof of Africa, which sends like 80% of its rewards to fuel these activities. But like the catalyst funding that you are looking for would help to scale up the thing, right? Having onboarding more people and stuff. Okay, that's really clear. And actually, it's make a good transition for me for the next question, which is, can you tell us a bit about the devs that you have now? Like because you said it's mainly female developers. Can you tell us a bit about them? And perhaps just after explaining us what would be your strategy to onboard more developers in the future.
Okay. Let me just quickly mention that part of the reason we have the devs is so we can, because they are talented people, right? We want to allow them to get inspired by learning, so they can actually, should I say, birth their own ideas on how to solve these problems that we actually mentioned before in Nigeria. So the idea is to actually incubate them within the ecosystem and allow for, I think the funds we receive would allow for us to incubate them and their ideas, at least give them like a head start so they can actually push these ideas further. So we have a cohort of 2 developers right now, junior devs, working alongside with Gimbal Labs. We have Favor and we have Buki. So they are JavaScript developers, backend JavaScript developers, and they're working together to with Gimbal Labs to learn and get acquainted with these resources. And the strategy for us to onboard more is very simple, right? I said earlier, we want to interview more developers that are interested to get on the blockchain scene, and then we will follow through our tailored strategy to actually get them on board. And we're actually looking out actually right now for Solidity developers and senior developers that we can bring into the space to allow for them to learn what we have to offer.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So like if there is anybody who are a developer somewhere in Africa or especially in Nigeria and who would like to join, they can actually. I'm going to drop all the links to the ABCD Twitter and all interesting information below. So that's really clear. And actually, it's like the thing. So we started. You started with onboarding few developer. Just try to make a pilot out of it, see how it works, and you have the idea to scale up little by little, onboarding more and more people as soon as the structure is mature. So I think it's a good way of proceeding.